posting videos and creating videos, and it happened to be right before the Palestinians from Gaza kidnapped and caused harm to certain innocent Israelis, which has spurned this horrible, reaction by the Israelis. And this is important to me. My sister lived in Israel while this was going on. She has since moved away. I visited Israel in 2005, and I actually got the chance to go and meet an army major who took me to the wall or the fence and showed me the technology that they were using to monitor every move of the Palestinians. Meanwhile, on this tour, I had learned about how Israel had, these Jews had suffered and they finally got to come home. And they were just talking about the wars that they've been in. This wasn't peace. Israelis haven't been peaceful to Palestinians. They forced them to live, be born in, grow up in an actual real-life prison-like situation. If you haven't been there, then shut up, please. Because Fox News and MSNBC and the rest of them aren't telling you the truth. If you haven't gone and seen for yourself and asked yourself, would I want to be treated in that manner, then be quiet. Because the Israelis weren't just responding to the violence of the Palestinians, but the Palestinians were responding to the violence of the Israelis. And it's horrible. If you haven't been there, don't know. It's horrible. Well, it's the same as how America was built, right? Although it's kind of different because America was built on much more violence and for a much longer time. And so, Jews, white from Europe. Americans, white from Europe. You hear about the stories of everywhere we've gone to conquer and control. We've tried to make darker skinned folks feel worse and subservient to us and oppressed by our desire to win the race. And so if we're going to be mad at the Palestinians for responding to such horrible living conditions, then we should damn sure be grateful as can be that the Africans, Aboriginal folks, whether it was in South Africa, the United States, South America, the islands, wherever we have gone and truly oppressed them, that they have never responded in that manner. So as white folks, we should be grateful for and looking to repair the harm of our culture so that we don't do this again to the people that have demonstrated the greatest amount of peace. But instead, what do? We make their lives miserable and try and create a level of hopelessness, add drugs and guns into their community, and then we paint the picture through media that they're violent. That's trickery at its finest. And that's what's happening in Palestine and Israel as we try to support the Israelis. We don't know how to support anybody other than give them more violent weapons to defend themselves. It's a sickness. Everything is about violence with us. And then we get upset and paint a picture of the Palestinians being violent or black folks being violent. We're violent. As a Jewish man, I'm no different than a white Christian. We have white-on-white violence. It's called Russia, Ukraine. It's called all of the wars we learned about in our world history classes. We're violent. Our culture is violent. Not our skin tone makes us violent. Our cultural practices and justifying them make us violent. And yet we get to control the narrative, so we paint the picture that everybody else is. We should not only be fighting for Palestinians to have a level of freedom to live a life according to how they desire, but we should also be fighting for the same thing here in America, in the United States, that black folks should have the reparations that they deserve and repair. And we need to learn the humanity of being a part of the healing process, because we need some cultural changes. And we should be thanking those that have endured 400 years of our violence and manipulation, that they have never responded in that way shows a level of strength and a level of connection in an actual godlike manner, representing what all that they're fighting for in Israel, control over the land that the biblical life was written about, proves that the actual Hebrew Israelites were probably just black folks, right? Not us. We came there in the 40s to conquer the land, and this is the result of all of our conquering. So I'll be the first to say thank you to the black folks that have uplifted us and protected us throughout the years by demonstrating a level of peace and love that we can't even understand and see. That is what the Bible's stories are about. That is the example for which we all should be living.